Maya Angelou is a well-known poet, novelist, and performer. The selection which follows is from Angelou's first volume of autobiography, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. She relates an important recollection from childhood about the night in the 1930s when the world heavyweight champion Joe Louis, nicknamed the Brown Bomber, defended his boxing title against a white contender. The last inch of space was filled, yet people continued to wedge themselves along the walls of the store. Uncle Willie had turned the radio up to its last notch so that the youngsters on the porch wouldn't miss a word. Women sat on kitchen chairs, dining room chairs, stools, and upturned wooden boxes. Small children and babies perched on every lap available, and men leaned on the shelves or on each other. The apprehensive mood was shot through with shafts of gaiety as the black sky is streaked with lightning. I ain't worried about this fight. Joe's gonna whip that cracker like it's open season. He's gonna whip him till that white boy calls him mama. At last, the talking finished and the string-along songs about razor blades were over and the fight began. A quick jab to the head. In the store, the crowd grunted. A left to the head and a right and another left. One of the listeners crackled like a hen and was quieted. They're in a cinch. Louis is trying to fight his way out. Some bitter comedian on the porch said, that white man don't mind hugging that nigger now, I betcha. The referee is moving in to break them up, but Louis finally pushed the contender away and it's an uppercut to the chin. The contender is hanging on now. He's backing away. Louis catches him with a shot left to the jaw. A tide of murmuring assent poured out the door and into the yard. Another left, another left. Louis is saving that mighty right. The mutter in the store had grown into a baby roar, and it was pierced by the clang of a bell. The announcers, that's the bell for round 3, ladies and gentlemen. As I pushed my way into the store, I wondered if the announcer gave any thought to the fact that he was addressing us as ladies and gentlemen. All the Negroes around the world who sat sweating and praying, glued to their master's voice. There were only a few calls for R.C. Colas, Dr. Peppers, and Hires root beer. The real festivities would begin after the fight. That even the old Christian ladies who taught their children and tried themselves to practice turning the other cheek would buy soft drinks, and if the Brown Bomber's victory was a particularly bloody one, they would order peanut patties and beer boots also. Bailey and I laid coins on top of the cash register. Uncle Willie didn't allow us to ring up sales during a fight. It was too noisy and might shake up the atmosphere. When the gong rang for the next round, we pushed through the near sacred quiet to the herd of children outside. He got Louis up against the ropes, and I was a left to the body and a right to the waist, another right to the body. It looks like it was low. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the referee is signaling, but the contender keeps raining blows on Louis. It's another to the body, and it looks like Louis is going down. My wrist groaned. It was our people falling. It was another lynching. Yet another black man hanging on a tree. One more woman ambushed and raped. A black boy whipped and maimed. It was hounds on the trail of a man running through slimy swamps. It was a white woman slapping her maid for being forgetful. The men in the store stood away from the walls and at attention. Women greedily clutched their babes on their laps, while on the porch, the shufflings and smiles, flirtings and pinching of a few minutes before were gone. This might be the end of the world. If Joe lost, we were back in slavery and beyond help. It would all be true, the accusations that we were lower types of human beings, only a little higher than apes. True that we were stupid and ugly and lazy and dirty and unlucky, and worst of all, that God himself hated us and ordained us to be hearers of wood and drawers of water forever and ever, world without end. We didn't breathe. We didn't hope. We waited. He's off the ropes, ladies and gentlemen. He's moving towards the center of the ring. There was no time to be relieved. The worst might still happen. And now it looks like Joe is mad. He's caught Canary with a left hook to the head and a right to the body. It's a left jab to the body and a left to the head. There's a left cross and a right to the head. The contender's right eye is bleeding and he can't seem to keep his block up. Lewis is penetrating every block. The referee is moving in, but Lewis sends a left to the body and his uppercut to the chin, and the contender is dropping. He's on the canvas, ladies and gentlemen. Babies slid to the floor as women stood up and men leaned towards the radio. Here's the referees. He's counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is the contender trying to get up again? All the men in the store shouted, no. 8, 9, 10. There were a few shouts from the audience, but they seemed to be holding themselves in against tremendous pressure. The fight is all over, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the microphone over to the referee. Here he is. He got the bronze hand. He's holding him up. Here he is. The voice, husky and familiar, came to watch over us. The winner and still heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis. Champion of the world, a black boy. Some black mother's son. He was the strongest man in the world. People drank Coca-Colas like Ambrosia and ate candy bars like Christmas. Some of the men went behind the store and poured White Lightning in their soft drink bottles, and a few of the bigger boys followed them. Those who were not chased away came back blowing their breath in front of themselves like proud smokers. It would take an hour or more before people would leave the store and head home. Those who lived too far had made arrangements to stay in town. It wouldn't do for a black man and his family to be caught on a lonely country road on a night when Joe Louis had proved that we were the strongest people in the world.